Hello.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
please.
good here.
Please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jayashree. I'm working as a Java developer with 3 years of experience in Virtusa. So currently, I am associated with City QF XLM FX project. So mainly, I work in the Spring Boot part. So our project we use Spring Boot for the backend and for Angular as a front end. And for database, we use Oracle. And for Git versioning system, we use Git and Bitbucket. And for deployment, we use internal to TeamCity.
Okay. So, do you have experience on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, advanced script?
Yeah, actually, during my internship period, like I have worked on React part, so I have a basic idea on it.
Basic idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ajax, you know Ajax, how to call in API and other things via Ajax.
Actually, your voice is low. Can I try using headphones?
No, yes, you can try.
Yeah. Actually, your voice is low. Actually, man.
Now better.
Yeah, better. 1 second. I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah. It is better. This is. Yeah.
Hmm. So my question is that regarding to HTML, CSS, Ajax. Suppose sometime you got some front end CR and implementation. Any time maybe have issue comes into UI part, maybe in backend part. So full stack developer means means backend, front end, all things need to be do by the developer, right?
Yeah. In internship part, like I have worked both in front end and back end. Like during my internship, I have used the Spring Boot, and
Hmm.
for front end, I use React JS. So I know how it is integrated. Yeah, I have a
Okay.
basic idea on it.
Okay. So in Spring Boot, you know what is use of actuator.
Your voice is breaking. Actually, I heard one is Spring Boot.
Actuator, you know about the actuator.
Yeah, so actuator Spring Boot is used for monitoring the application. So how is the status? So there are many endpoints like health, beans, and many endpoints it will give. So we can see what is the application, whether it is up or down, what are the beans used, what is the status, what is the CPU consumed, like that we can monitor the Spring Boot application using Spring Boot actuators.
Actuator. Okay. So you know about get mapping, post mapping, get mapping, put
Yeah,
mapping. What is
yeah.
role of this annotation?
So these annotations are used for processing the request. For example, if you want to post the data into database, we use post mapping. If you want to fetch the data, we use get mapping. So basically, it is annotation which is a combination of request mapping and the response body. So these and then for delete, if you want to delete a record, so we can use delete mapping annotation. And if you want to update any resource, we can use put and patch mapping.
So you know dispatcher servlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, please tell me.
So dispatcher servlet is when a request comes to the Spring Boot application, first comes to dispatcher servlet. So the dispatcher servlet is primarily responsible for responding the corresponding request to the which controller. So it will divert request to the corresponding controller. So this is the major thing the Spring dispatcher servlet will do. Yeah. So in Spring we have to configure it by manually, but in Spring Boot it is given by default.
You know auto wiring annotation. What is role of auto wiring?
Yeah. So Spring it is a concept called dependency injection and inversion of control. So the basic idea is like normally if you create in Java application, we create the objects and we are responsible for all the configurations. But in Spring, like there is a concept of IOC container. It is responsible for creating the objects, and whatever objects we want, we can inject using the auto wiring in Spring Boot.
Okay. Yeah. You know scope variables, scope type of variables,
Sorry.
scope type of variables.
Like globe class variables, instance variables, like that.
No, no. Scope type of variables in string
I'm not getting the.
prototype.
Yeah. So bean type, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, there are different types of bean type.
Mm-hmm.
So singleton is the by default. So only one bean is created. So prototype is like each time when we request the bean, so each new instance is created.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is like request. For each request, a new bean is created. And another one is session, I guess. So for each session, a new bean is created.
Okay. And global session.
Yeah, global. Uh, I have heard, but I have not used it.
So suppose I will tell you, you make it REST API.
Mm.
Okay. So what do you initiate for creating REST API?
So from scratch, right? So
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So we need a database, and then there is a architectural flow which we have to follow. Like there will be a controller, service class, and then the repository, and then the DTOs. So the flow will be like the request will come to the controller, and then the controller will initiate to the service layer. So service layer is responsible for writing the business logic, and the repository is used for mapping to the database. For repository, in the case you can use Spring Data JPA or any other type of Hibernate tool, so to connect to the database. So this is the major flow. So for exceptions, we can create a separate exception class, and then we can handle it. And for security also, we can configure in a separate term. And for secondary logics like logging or different things, we can use AOP
So
for separating.
suppose I want to create a global exception.
Yeah.
Means all requests means in all our controller, any controller is generate the exception. So you call the global exception class. So how do you write the global exception class?
So exception handler, we have to configure in a separate file. So controller advice, we have to annotate the class,
Mm-hmm.
and then so the method which you are writing, we can exception handler, and then in the brackets we can give the specific custom exceptions which we have created for it.
Okay. So JPA, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
in JPA, you know, one to many, many to one,
yeah.
and one to one, many to many. What is role of this?
So these are used for mapping relationships. So, for example, a customer can have one address, so it is one-to-one mapping.
Okay.
So a student can enroll in many classes, courses, that is one-to-many relationship. So there will be a concept of foreign key, primary key. So based on that, the mapping will be done. Yeah,
Okay. So you know JUnit, Mockito framework.
yeah.
So how to integrate JUnit and Mockito in your
So
application?
yeah, so Marketo is used for mostly unit testing. So instead of directly connect like database inserting data, we are mocking the data and then we are testing it. So we can add the dependencies in the POM file, and then we can use the necessary things, test annotation. There's a split to test, that's a separate file. So in that we can configure the Mockito things, and we can mock the objects, and we can perform the unit testing.
So in Java part, Java 8.
Yeah.
So in Java 8, uh, map and flat map. What is difference between them?
So map is used for converting from one form to another. Like if you want to, that's a list of numbers. So if you want to convert into a multiples of two, like that, if you want to transfer it, we use map. So flat map, it is like there is a list, like there's a list of customers, and then that customers has a list. So basically, that is converted into a stream, not a individual things. So that is the difference between the map and the flat map.
Global, instance variable, class variable, and local variable. So what is differences between these three?
So class variable is a variable which is like valid within the class. So local variable means within that block of that code. So it is valid. If you try to call outside, means it won't be. It will throw error.
And
Yeah. So,
instance variable.
instance. I guess it is within a method object.
You doing programming, but you don't. You confuse in the local variables, global variable. Instance variables and class variables and local variables. Instance variables are which variables which is associated with the object. Class
Object.
variables are which variables are associated with the class names. Means if you mark as a static keyword, that would be a class variable. When local variable is a part of the particular block, means
Block of the code. Yeah.
inside the uh, we can say inside the method or inside the static block or inside the initializer block, whatever block you are writing.
Mm.
Okay, that are the local variables.
Yeah.
This is the difference. It's simple.
Okay.
So suppose enum.
Yeah, I have heard, but I have not worked much on it.
So
That is based
enum,
for variables. That is,
enum.
class will be there based on in that constants will be declared.
So enum is for using the constant, immutable, because if you write in enum to just get, use the get and pass the variables, you will get the value of variables, right?
Yeah.
So enum basically used for immutability of the variables.
Okay.
This is the difference.
Mutable. Okay.
So suppose I will tell you how to make it immutable class.
Mm-hmm. So class needs to be immutable means we can declare that class as final. So the it cannot be extended further. So it will become a final class. So
So that is set only. That is only this rule and regulation for this immutable class, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Immutable,
I'm not getting your point. Actually, your voice is still.
immutable class
Hmm.
means suppose you want to make it as a immutable. So what
Hmm.
kind of characteristics need to be do? Immutable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we can declare the class as final, so it won't be overridden, right? So we cannot change it further.
No, final basically we write for only if you mark as a final that class cannot be extended,
Extended,
right?
yeah.
But this is not a correct feature. Immutable class means which class need to make a readable class.
Okay, so we can like getters and setters and make it as private variables so that
Setter cannot be used because of it will not make to the readable concept.
yeah. So getters only we can use and setters we cannot. We don't implement in that. So in that way,
This is the basic thing. This is the
yeah.
basic thing. But if you generalize way you want to write, so you keep in mind if I am making the immutable class, so never will write to the update insert operation, only
Mm-hmm.
make it the readable business
Mm.
component. That's it only.
Mm.
Suppose I want to some operation I want to read out. So you can make it a simple final class. So you can call anywhere.
Yeah, understood, understood. This is a different one. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got the point.
Okay. So when used to serializable interface.
Serializable is the concept of converting the object into a byte stream.
Hmm.
So if you want to convert a data like the object into if you want to write into a file or something else, if you want to transfer over the network,
Hmm.
so then we use the serialization
So
concept.
suppose you are writing REST API. So here is happening serialization and
Yeah,
deserialization.
so for yeah, so while getting the inserting the record, right? So we use the request the body annotation, right? For
Hmm.
getting so in that form we convert from the object into a another form, like a JSON into a object form.
Okay.
So in that we use the serialization concept.
So what you know about encapsulation and abstraction?
So abstraction is the way of hiding the internal details and showing only the essential details to the user.
Hmm.
So it is achieved by interface and abstract class.
Hmm.
So in interface, we declare only the abstract methods, and then in the implementation class, when we implement the interface, we write the details like what are the implementation we want to do. And in the abstract as we can declare abstract as well as non-abstract methods, static methods. So if we extend the abstract class, we can whatever logic we want to do, we can do here. And
No, no. Abstract class and interface is not a part of encapsulation because
no,
of
not encapsulation. I am saying about abstraction. Not I have not come to encapsulation
okay,
concept.
okay, okay. So
Yeah. So
this is also not a part of abstraction because of
hmm,
interface is used for resolving the diamond problem of classes. Okay.
So in Java 8, default method is introduced to overcome the diamond problem.
No, that is different thing.
Uh,
So interface, if you are using interface,
mm,
so suppose interface cannot be extended, it can be implemented, right, in class.
yeah,
So no
yeah.
nonsense for if you are writing a static and default method.
Mm,
Why it is used? Because of we are writing as a functional programming through the Java 8. So that's why
yeah,
here we can define as a static and default method so we can call inside the class directly.
yeah,
Okay. So this
yeah.
is not a thing. If
Uh,
you using interface implement interface 1 interface 2 using the comma,
mm,
right? So it
Hmm.
is a multiple inheritance. So that would be resolve of the Java problem. So
Hmm.
abstract class is if don't want to create object, because of if I create the object that would be unnecessary
Hmm.
memory consumptions, right?
Hmm.
So that's why we write a logic, common logic. Suppose for example you are writing a entity bean. You
Hmm.
first you make it as a one entity bean as a common ID. Okay. So ID. So suppose you want to create another bean, you implement to the abstract class. So that abstract class need to be a common. Here you define a at the rate entity ID or something, whatever you want to define.
Hmm.
So that ID not need to be create every time in all entities. It will take from the abstract class. That is a simple example.
Hmm.
So this is a not a part of abstraction. Abstraction is a complement part of encapsulation. So what is encapsulation?
So encapsulation is the concept of binding the data together in a single entity, that is a class. So we can achieve data. We can achieve as said earlier. So we can achieve the classes immutable by using getters, right? So that is the concept of
No,
encapsulation.
encapsulation because of you don't don't focus on the entity. Entity is a
Mhm.
real time. Object is
Yeah,
a real
object.
time.
Yeah.
If you binding the data and method into object, that is encapsulation.
Encapsulation, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once your method and data are encapsulated, so encapsulated things you want to abstract, that is called a abstraction.
Hmm.
Simple thing. Here nothing used to here no role of interface and abstract class. Here
Hmm.
role of the object only. Whatever you access from the object, that is abstraction.
Hmm.
So why? Just to give the example, if you object dot method name, object dot method name.
Method name.
So here if you have parameterized method, you pass the parameter. Okay, you get the outcome. You get
Hmm.
the outcome. So this is the real thing. Means these things you want to show to the user. Okay, user or you or anyone want to run the program, get the expected result
Yeah.
without implementation detail. That is the exact thing.
Yeah.
So here you implementation details you are hiding, right?
Yeah.
Because of that implementation details already binded in the object
Yeah.
inside the object method. So
Yeah.
method once you call, so it will only give the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
So what is overriding? What is overloading?
So overloading means if we have two methods and different parameters, then that is overloading.
Hmm.
Overriding is like there is a parent class and there is a child class. So if you have the same method and if you want to implement a different logic in the child method and call it at the runtime, then it is a method overriding. So basically, method overriding, the method overloading, the call is resolved at the compile time. Method overriding, the call is resolved at the runtime.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So suppose main method can be overloaded.
yeah,
Overloaded.
yeah,
So static method can be override.
no,
If suppose I want to write same method, same signature, same modifier in parent class, as it is we want to write in drive class, in subclass, so it will compile and run.
no. It will produce error because static belongs to a class rather than the object. So it cannot be overridden.
No, overridden I know, I got it your point.
Yeah.
But I want to write the same thing, same method in child and parent. Okay?
Hmm.
So that would be compile and run or not.
No.
Why?
So static methods it cannot be overridden. So
No,
it will
I
be zero.
said cannot overridden. So here I am not overriding.
I'm not getting your question correctly, I guess.
No, you telling static method cannot be override, right?
Yeah.
So here I am writing the code, same method in the child and parent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Oh,
so that would be compile and run. This is the simple thing. If you can yes, so why? If you not, so why?
the same method. Can you give an example so that I will be able to understand clearly?
Suppose class A have a public static void
Okay.
so method. Okay.
Mm.
And in class A, class B extend class A public static void show method.
Okay.
In so inside whatever you want to print, you can
Mm.
print anything. Suppose
Mm.
class B method. In class A, you can write a
Mm.
class A show method, right? So this is one
Mm.
thing.
Mm.
So that would be compile and execute.
Okay. Mm. No, it will throw error.
No, actually you are not clear about the concept. Because of static variables, why are not override? Because of this over static methods are associated with the class.
The class. Yeah, that's what I was telling. Like it is
So
associated with
that
class.
so why will give error? Because of it will call by the class name.
Mm.
So why give the error? Compilation error. Because of
Yeah.
no link
Class.
between parent and child. Because of
Yeah.
that methods are redirecting to the JVM.
Yeah.
JVM
So.
maintain the class. So
Mm.
class name dot method.
Yeah.
So why give the error?
So it is associated with class, right? So we cannot call it.
Hmm. No, no,
So that
call it, call it. You can call it by class name, not
yeah, it will
directly.
throw compile time error.
No, no, no will give the compile time error. Because of no make sense for relation static method, no make sense for relation between child and parent.
Yeah.
Static method relations only with the class name, not any
Yeah.
child and parent. Child
Yeah.
and parent only maintain uh, by the static variable, instance variable and instance method.
Yeah.
So that will follow the overriding concept.
Yeah.
So you know list and set interface. What are the basic difference?
So in list interface, duplicates are maintained. Like if you order insert it, it will be maintained in that order. But in the set, so duplicates it won't allow. It will maintain the non-duplicate elements only. So in the list we have array list and linked list. In set we have classes like hash set, linker hash set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So database, you know.
Yeah.
So in database, you know in class, right?
Mm.
In you know.
Mm.
So
In
in
schema.
in in class in a class in class
IAM class.
where id in something like that. You know. Okay, no
Um,
problem. So how
not
many?
getting
Uh,
queries, right? Queries are
yeah, I was want to ask the query related, but
okay.
no problem. How many types of joins?
Okay, so there are different type of join like left join, right join, inner join, and outer join.
Hmm.
So in inner join, like matching columns from both the tables will be fetched,
Hmm.
and in right join, all the columns from the right and the matching columns from the left will be fetched.
Hmm.
So in the left join, the rows from the left and the matching from the right will be fetched.
Hmm.
So this is the concept of joins.
Okay.
So if you want to fetch the combine both the tables based on some criteria, we go for joins.
Okay. Okay. So I have completed. So how much you have experience? 3 years,
Uh,
right?
3 years with internship experience.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So just you refresh your technical skill, okay, in core Java, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So because of you need to improve in core Java, but I am
Yeah.
considering you behalf of your experience level, okay.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Yeah.